Good morning everybody. In last lecture we had seen two aspects of growth, that is absolute growth rate or ratio and relative growth rate or ratio, right? So what is AGR? काल आपण बघितलेलंच आहे बऱ्यापैकी. Okay, so that is absolute growth rate म्हणा किंवा रेशो म्हणा, काही म्हटलं तरी चालतं. ओके, so absolute growth rate means measurement and comparison of total growth or total increase in growth per unit time. When we measure total growth in any cell, organ, organism in terms of length, weight, surface area, etc., that is known as absolute growth rate, right? So AGR is also described as change in cell number with respect to time interval. So AGR equal to dN by dt. What is the definition? It is measurement and comparison of total increase in growth or total growth per unit time. Total increase in growth per unit time, right? That is AGR. Then next aspect we are seeing, that is RGR, that is relative growth rate or relative growth ratio. Relative growth rate is calculated when the absolute growth is divided by total number of cells present, right? So we will get RGR equal to AGR upon N. What is relative growth rate? It is the increase in the part of a system per unit time on a common basis, right? It is increase in or growth in part of a system. System is in the form of organ, organism, etc. Increase in part of a system per unit time on common basis, that is known as relative growth rate. Yesterday we had seen one example of this absolute and relative growth rate, that is leaf. So when we select two leaves, one small leaf, another one is larger in size, right? And for both these leaves, if we provide a specific time period for growth, and after that period when we measure the surface area, which kind of observations are there? So generally A leaf, suppose having the initial surface area that is 5 cm square, and B leaf having the initial surface area 50 cm square. After 7 days, suppose we give 7 days time period for growth in these leaves. After 7 days when we measure once again the surface area, A leaf shows 10 cm square area, that is it get doubled in terms of surface area increase, and in B leaf we may observe the final growth, that is final surface area, that is 55 cm square. So in both A and B leaf, in 7 days time period, how much total growth occurs? Both the leaves increases by 5 cm square area. So this is known as absolute growth rate. But when we think about the relative growth rate, A leaf get doubled, the surface area in A leaf get doubled, so growth is 100%. But in B leaf, as original area is more, so there is less possibility of growing or of increase in surface area, right? So with respect to this, when we describe the relative growth rate, then A shows 100% relative growth rate, whereas B shows only 10% as compared to A leaf. So relative growth rate in both these leaves can be described as A leaf shows more relative growth than B leaf, or B leaf shows less relative growth than A leaf. Okay, so these are some specific aspects of growth. Now let's see the types of growth. So there are two types, right? One is known as arithmetic growth, on the basis of pattern of growth, on the basis of development, differentiation of cells, etc., having the ability of cell division, etc., and geometric growth. arithmetic growth means what? It is the growth where continuous increase is observed. So is it possible in any living organism? So let's see, right? Now we know very well that growth in any living organism generally occurs due to cell division. Okay, there are two types, mitotic and meiotic cell division. Generally, in multicellular organism or unicellular organism, the most common cell division which occurs for growth, for increase in the size, shape, mass, volume, etc., mitotic cell division takes place, right? So, in case of arithmetic growth, suppose this is a meristematic cell. Meristematic cell. We know very well that in plant these are the only cells which are dividing cells, right? So, meristematic cell divides, forms two daughter cells. Now, out of two daughter cells, 50% cell, that is one cell, go for differentiation. And another cell continues its division, so it again divides and produces two daughter cells. Excuse me. Again, one of the cell go for differentiation, another cell will continue the division. Again, this cell divides, forms two cells. Again, 50% cell will go for differentiation, 50% cell retains the ability of cell division. So this is how the growth takes place. It means here increase in the number and then increase in the height, weight, whatever it may be, that occurs continuously, simultaneously. Okay. So here when we try to draw the graph of this growth, that is rate of growth or increase in the height, length, etc., against the time, then we'll get linear growth curve in arithmetic growth. Is this possible in living organism? Yes. Generally in plants, root shows such arithmetic growth. Or in laboratory, under ideal conditions, a bacterial cell culture may show such arithmetic growth curve, right? So when we draw the growth curve for arithmetic growth, we'll get linear growth curve. Yesterday we are seeing this linear growth curve, okay? So this is time, right? And this is increase in height, that is in case of root it may be length, right? So if we draw this, we'll get this kind of curve, straight line, okay? So this is called linear growth curve. Right? Now why this is shown, like this. So here 50% cell will continue the cell division and 50% cell go for differentiation. So simultaneously division is occurring as well as development and differentiation also occurs, because the cells which will go for differentiation, they lost the ability of cell division but they start now elongation, right? Then they differentiated to perform a specific function. So in this case, a continuous increase in the length of that plant part is observed. Such a growth is known as arithmetic growth. Okay? आता इथे काय झालं की मेरिस्टेमॅटिक सेल डिवाइड झाली, दोन डॉटर सेल मिळाल्या. आता त्या दोन्ही डिव्हिजन करायच्या त्यातला 50% म्हणजे एक सेल डिफरन्शिएशन साठी गेली, which lost the ability of cell division, but it starts elongation, maturation, differentiation, etc. And another cell which is left that continues the division. So 50% cell after every division will go for differentiation, 50% cell will continue the cell division. So increase in the number of cells as well as increase in the growth, that is especially in terms of height, length, then diameter, surface area, that occurs simultaneously. So continuous increase in that plant part in terms of, if suppose we are measuring the growth in terms of length, that is observed. So we will get linear growth curve. Arithmetic growth can be mathematically expressed as, arithmetic growth can also be mathematically expressed as LT equal to L0 plus RT, right? LT means length at time t, right? L0 means length at 0 time, that is initial length, and LT represent final length, right? then R stands for growth rate, and T for time. So arithmetic growth can be even mathematically expressed in the form of an equation, that is LT equal to L0 plus RT. LT stands for length at time t, that is final length. L0 initial length, R stands for growth rate, and T for time. Okay? So this is arithmetic growth. Now geometric growth. Geometric growth is the growth where in initial phase of growth is very slow, then later it becomes rapid or exponential, and again it will become steady or stationary. Again the growth rate will become steady or stationary. Such a growth is known as geometric growth. So how it occurs? Now again, if we here consider, suppose this is the meristematic cell, because here also growth occurs only due to meristematic cells, right? This cell divides and forms two daughter cells. Now instead of going for differentiation, these cells start repeated divisions. It means cells undergo continuously only division, there is no differentiation. Cells continue the cell division, they do not go for differentiation. So again these two daughter cells divides, forms four daughter cells. These four daughter cells divides, forms further new daughter cells, right? And when after several repeated division, suddenly major part of these daughter cells will go for differentiation and very less cells continue the cell division. Again these cells divides repeatedly for some time without going for differentiation, and again the cells will, major part of daughter cells will go for differentiation, and again few cells will continue the division. Now initially in this growth, when cells only divides, they do not go for differentiation, right? Number of daughter cells increases, but increase in the weight, increase in the size, increase in the height, increase in the length, much is not observed because cells are continuously dividing only. But in this phase where the maximum part of daughter cells will go for differentiation and very less part of daughter cells obtained may continue the division, this is the phase where rapid growth is observed. Why? Because imagine if many cells will go for differentiation, these cells lost the ability of cell division, but they start elongation, maturation, differentiation. So sudden increase in the plant part is observed, right? And when we draw this growth rate against the time in case of geometric growth, we will get sigmoid growth curve. Yesterday we had seen this sigmoid growth, right? So this is growth rate against the time. In case of this, if we suppose measure the growth rate in terms of weight, increase in weight, then we'll get this kind of growth curve. So this is sigmoid growth curve. It is sigmoid growth curve. Okay, yesterday we had seen this lower phase is known as lag phase, where the growth is very small, slow growth, and this phase is known as exponential or log phase. Exponential phase or log phase, where the growth is rapid, and this upper region where the growth becomes steady or stationary phase. Steady phase, right? So when we observe the geometric growth in any living organism, the growth curve obtained is generally sigmoid growth curve or S-shaped growth curve. Whereas in arithmetic growth, the growth curve obtained is linear growth curve, continuous increase. Example, growth of root in plants generally show arithmetic growth. But growth of other plant parts, that is for example leaves, birds, flowers, they may show geometric growth, where the cells only divides, repeatedly divides and forms many daughter cells, and suddenly major part of daughter cells will go for differentiation and very few daughter cells may continue the cell division. In that case, initial phase is having slow growth, where number of daughter cells may increase, but much increase in the length, height, weight, etc. is not observed. Then exponential or log phase, where the rapid growth takes place. This is the phase where maximum daughter cells will go for differentiation. So those cells elongates and hence sudden increase in the length, height or in the weight is observed. So this is log or exponential phase. And later again, once the cells become permanent and start performing their specific function, again the growth rate will become steady or stationary. Is it clear? Like arithmetic growth, geometric growth is also mathematically expressed. So geometric growth is also mathematically expressed. Mathematically expressed as Wt equal to W0 into e raised to RT, where Wt means final weight. Here growth is measured in terms of weight, hence it is final weight or size, right? Then W0 means initial weight or size. R means growth rate, right? T means time and E means base of natural logarithm or natural base of logarithm, right? Natural base of logarithm असं म्हणलं तरी चालेल. Base of natural logarithm or natural base of logarithm, right? East is a base of natural logarithm, right? So this is mathematically expressed like this: Wt equal to W0 into e raised to RT, right? So these are two types of growth on the basis of the nature of cell division and the fate of daughter cells formed after the division, right? Arithmetic growth, where 50% cells will continue the cell division and 50% cells will go for differentiation. So continuous increase or continuous growth is observed. Example, growth in growing roots. Okay, whereas geometric growth means where cells first repeatedly divides for many times. Several divisions only occurs in the cells. Many daughter cells are formed and suddenly major part of daughter cells will go for differentiation and very few daughter cells will continue the cell division. In that case, the growth curve obtained is S-shaped or sigmoid. Both the growth can be mathematically expressed. In case of arithmetic growth, it is mathematically expressed as Lt equal to L0 plus RT, where Lt final length, L0 initial length, R growth rate and T is time. Geometric growth is mathematically expressed as Wt equal to or W1 म्हणलं तरी चालेल, इथे W1 पण दिलेलं तुम्हाला मध्ये. W1 equal to W0 into e raised to RT, where W1 final weight or size, W0 initial weight or size, R growth rate, T time and E base of natural logarithm, right? So this is about arithmetic and geometric growth. Is it clear to everyone? Right? Now, let's see next concept. But another growth curve is also given in the book, that is J-shaped growth curve, where initially the rate of growth is less, but later it is continuously increasing. Now, in last lecture we had seen this sigmoid growth curve, right? So there are three phases: phase number 1, lag phase; phase number 2, log or exponential phase; and phase number 3, that is steady or stationary phase. Okay. So this kind of growth is observed in most of living cells, organs, organisms. Very few are there which may show linear or J-shaped growth curve, right? Bacterial cell culture under ideal conditions definitely shows J-shaped growth curve. Okay. Now, the time required to complete all these three phases of growth is known as grand period of growth, right? So, time required to complete three phases of growth three phases of growth is called GPG, that is grand period of growth. Time required to complete the three phases of growth, that is lag phase, log phase and steady or stationary phase, is known as grand period of growth. Is it clear to everyone? Right? So this is about the different phases of growth, sigmoid growth curve, etc. Right? Now in case of living plants, how actually the development and differentiation occurs. So in last lecture we had seen that development is a sequential changes or progressive changes occurs in the plant in its life cycle. So how gradually growth takes place, right? Only cell divides, there is no differentiation, such a kind is not observed, right? So all the events which occurs in the growth in plant, those are sequential events, gradual events. Progressive changes may occur in the size, shape, form, weight, etc. of the plant in its life cycle, right? So how this development and differentiation takes place. So what is actually the development? So development in plant or its life cycle starts from seed germination, right? So I told you the first phase of growth in plant, that is seed germination, right? Then seed germinates and forms, or seed germinates due to result of cell division. Okay, cell division results in cell elongation. Cell elongation results in cell maturation. Cell maturation leads to cause mature cell, right? Mature cell starts performing a specific function, right? And this mature cell leads to cause senescence, and senescence results ultimately in death. आता याच्यामध्ये एखाद दुसरं काहीतरी राहिलं असेल समजा आपलं, पण generally the sequential events occurs like this. The first step of growth of plant, that is seed germination, right? The most advanced and dominating vegetation on the earth is angiospermic plants. And in angiospermic plants, the sexual reproduction results in formation of seeds. The most cheap and convenient method of development or multiplication of new plant in angiosperm is seed germination. So seed germinates and it results in forming a small plantlet or a small seedling. How that seedling is formed? When seed germinates, inside the seed, the embryo cells, whatever present, those start division, as a result of which many daughter cells are formed. Cells undergo elongation, where the cells lost the ability of cell division, then cells undergo maturation. A mature permanent cell is formed, then that permanent cell starts performing a specific function, which is nothing but differentiation म्हणूया आपण इथे त्याला. And then that leads to cause senescence, and senescence leads to cause death in the plant. Okay, so this is actually the gradual or sequential events which occurs in the life of a plant. Okay, so let's see how this process takes place. So first of all, seed germination. First of all, seed germination. Seed germination. It is the process of resuming the active growth of seed embryo to form a new small seedling or plantlet. Right? What is seed germination? It is the process of having active growth, or it is a process of growing actively the embryo in the seed to form a small seedling or plantlet. Seed germination होतं म्हणजे काय होतं? When we sow the seed into the soil, seed absorb water from the soil. Then embryo cells present inside the seed get activated due to entry of water and gases in the seed. And then cells start division, as a result of which the embryo axis protrudes outside the seed in the form of a white colored rod shaped structure, which is nothing but radicle. Radicle then penetrate into the soil, and develops into root system, and then plumule protrudes outside above the soil and develops into shoot system. And together in initial phase, this seed germinates to form a small seedling or a small plantlet, right? So it is the active growth of seed embryo to form a small seedling or plantlet, that is nothing but seed germination, right? So process of active growth of seed embryo to form a small seedling, or plantlet. A small seedling or plantlet, that is known as seed germination, which is also known as first step of plant growth. First step of plant growth. Okay. Now seed germination is a specific process. Some events occurs during the seed germination. We sow the seed in the soil, and under moist condition only seed germinates. It means moisture and a kind of warmth is required for seed germination. If the conditions are favorable, if the water present in the soil, right, then water is absorbed by the seed. It means water enters into the seed through the micropyle as well as through the seed coat. This entry of water inside the seed activates the embryo cells, right? Activates the enzymes present in these cells, and the cells start division. The first part of embryo which undergo growth, that is nothing but embryo axis. The lower tip of embryo axis, that is radicle, after the proper growth of this radicle, it protrudes or emerges outside the seed through the micropyle in the form of white colored rod shaped structure, right, which penetrates into the soil and converts into primary root. And from that radicle, later root system is formed. Meanwhile, the upper tip of embryo axis plumule protrudes from the seed towards the sky, that is towards the upper side, and develop into shoot system. Initially, when it comes above the soil, then it is forming one or two green colored small leaves, and this is nothing but small seedling or small plantlet. So this is how seed germination takes place. Okay, but in many of the angiospermic seed, we may observe one specific phenomenon, that is dormancy. So what is this dormancy, right? It is the suspension of, temporary suspension of active growth of seed embryo, right? What is dormancy? It is temporary suspension of active growth of seed embryo to form seedling or plantlet. It means what? Even under favorable condition, seed embryo even under favorable conditions. Dormancy म्हणजे ना मराठीमध्ये आपण सुप्तावस्था म्हणतो. That is when even if you can provide favorable condition to the seed, seed is unable to germinate. Its growth is temporarily suspended, right? This phase is known as dormancy, right? So many seed shows dormancy for variable time periods, right? And there are some specific reasons for this dormancy, why this dormancy is developed in the seed. And there are even some specific methods of breaking dormancy present, right, which are practiced by farmers, especially in case of agricultural crops, so that these seeds can grow well and provide food to human being, right? So dormancy means it's a phase, right? And during this phase, seed is unable to germinate even though it is present under favorable conditions. So it is the suspension of active growth of seed even under favorable condition to germinate. That is nothing but dormancy. It is very commonly observed that under natural condition, seeds shows dormancy during summer and winter season, right? Basically, dormancy in angiospermic seed protects its embryo against adverse environmental condition. Most of the angiospermic seeds shows dormancy during summer season. Now in summer season, temperature is high, environment is very dry, humidity is literally absent. So conditions are not favorable, natural conditions are not favorable for germination of seed, and hence most of the seed shows dormancy during summer season. Then some seed shows dormancy during winter season. During winter season, under natural condition, in environment, temperature is very low. We know very well that when temperature is very low, the enzymes in the living cells become inactive. Okay, and most of the plants shed off their leaves during the winter season to protect the plant from low temperature conditions. Okay, so due to this adverse condition, some seeds are unable to germinate during winter season. But actually when we observe that most of the seeds shows dormancy in summer and winter season, it is very clearly observed that actually seed embryo is protected due to dormancy in these adverse environmental conditions. समर सीझन मध्ये एन्व्हायरमेंटल कंडिशन्स चांगल्या नाही आहेत, फेवरेबल नाही आहेत आणि म्हणून बरेचसे सीड्स त्यांची डॉर्मन्सी दाखवतात समर सीझन मध्ये. म्हणजे ऍक्च्युअली दिस डॉर्मन्सी प्रोटेक्ट द सीड एम्ब्रियो फ्रॉम हाय टेम्परेचर, एक्स्ट्रीम हाय टेम्परेचर, एक्स्ट्रीम लो टेम्परेचर, ड्रॉट, स्कार्सिटी ऑफ वॉटर, या सगळ्या ॲडव्हर्स कंडिशनपासून सीड एम्ब्रियो प्रोटेक्ट होतो डॉर्मन्सीमुळे ॲक्च्युअली. And it is also one of the benefit observed due to this dormancy. Human beings can store these seeds as a food for further successive year. बघा तुम्ही आपल्या घरामध्ये मॅक्झिमम वेळेस धान्य केव्हा भरलं जातं? उन्हाळ्यामध्ये, राईट. उन्हाळ्यामध्ये सीड सो केलं तरी फारसं चांगलं धान्य येत नाही, म्हणून आपण ते स्टोअर करून ठेवण्याकडे आपला जास्त कल असतो. इट मीन्स इट ॲक्ट ॲज अ फूड फॉर फर्दर और फॉर ऑनगोइंग इयर, राईट. So this is actually the benefit of dormancy. It protects, dormancy actually protects the seed embryo from adverse environmental condition. Why dormancy is developed in the seed? So what are the causes of dormancy? Causes of dormancy. So there are different causes. First one, hard seed coat. In some seeds, the seed coat is very hard, it's very tough. And due to this hard seed coat, even though seed undergo germination and suppose the embryo starts growing, the seed coat is so hard that it do not become soft even under moist condition, and hence, though embryo inside the seed grows, it doesn't have space for its expansion, and hence seed show dormancy. So this is first cause, first reason of dormancy. Then second reason, impermeable seed coat. Impermeable seed coat. This is another reason, especially in seeds like this legume seeds. The seed coats are impermeable. No doubt during the seed germination, water enters into the seed through the micropyle. This we had seen already in another topic, right? So water enters into the seed through the micropyle, but if the seed coat is impermeable, then very less water entered into the seed, right? And that affects the growth of embryo. But if the seed coat is permeable to water, because we know very well that in plant cells, cell wall is freely permeable for water, right? So due to less content of water, due to less availability of water, here seed shows dormancy. So impermeable seed coat is another reason for development of dormancy in the seed, right? So this is another reason. Then third reason, that is immature embryo. Immature embryo or immature growth of embryo. Sometimes what happens when fertilization occurs in the plant, especially double fertilization when occurs in the plant, right? Then after double fertilization, ovule starts converting into seed and ovary converts into fruit. That we had seen already in morphology, right? So here what happened, sometimes the outer ovary ripened very fast, right? And inside this ripened fruit or inside this ripened ovary, the ovule which is starting converted into the seed, that takes longer time to form embryo inside the seed. So the development of embryo is not completed, though the outer fruit is completely ripened. मग अशा वेळेस काय होतं की बाहेरचं फ्रूट तर रायपण झालेलं आहे, आतमध्ये सीडमध्ये एम्ब्रियो व्यवस्थित तयार झालाय का, त्याचं डेव्हलपमेंट अजून चालूच आहे का, त्याची डेव्हलपमेंट झालीच नाही हे आपल्याला कळत नाही. अँड बिफोर द कम्प्लीट डेव्हलपमेंट ऑफ एम्ब्रियो इनसाइड द सीड, दॅट सीड्स कॅन बी हार्वेस्टेड. त्यांना आपण हार्वेस्ट करून टाकतो, म्हणजे फ्रूट तोडून घेतले जातात, सीड्स त्यातले बाहेर काढले जातात, and inside the seed still embryo do not complete its growth. So this is the one reason for development of dormancy in the seed, that is immature embryo, right? It means now those seeds require some resting period so that they can complete the growth of their embryo, and once the embryo growth is completed, embryo development is completed, then seeds are able to germinate. Is it clear? So in such seeds where the dormancy is due to immature embryo, they definitely require some resting period after seed harvesting. Okay, so this is another reason. Then next reason, that is blockage of testapore. Blockage of testapore. Testapore means micropyle. If suppose due to sand particle, due to soil particle, due to very small stone particle, right, the micropyle get blocked, then what happens when we germinate such seed? Water is not able to enter into the seed as micropyle get blocked. So that is also one of the cause of dormancy in the seed, right? And then another cause is germination inhibitors. Germination inhibitors. What are germination inhibitors? These are some specific chemicals produced by embryo and endosperm cells inside the seed, which may inhibit the growth of embryo during the germination, right? So these germination inhibitors are chemicals like coumarins. This is the name of that chemical, coumarins, alkaloids, phenolic compounds, etc. So these are the chemicals which are produced or secreted by embryo cells, endosperm cells in that seed, which may inhibit the growth of embryo during seed germination. So presence of germination inhibitors in the cell, that is one of the cause of dormancy of seed. Okay, so these are different reasons why dormancy developed into the seed. Number one, hard seed coat. It is so hard that during the growth of embryo is unable to expand as there is no space. So that's why that embryo shows dormancy. Impermeable seed coat, especially in case of legume seeds, seed coats are impermeable to water. So water cannot enter into the seed, and in absence of the plenty amount of water, seed is unable to germinate. Immature embryo, sometimes the fruit is formed or ovary get ripened completely, but inside the ovary, in the ovule, embryo development, or inside the seed, embryo is not properly developed, or it do not have its complete growth. So this kind of immature embryo containing seeds require some extra resting period, so that during which they can complete their growth, embryo growth, and then seeds are able to germinate. The another blockage of testapore, that is sometimes micropyle get blocked due to sand particles, stone particles, soil particles, or due to any other reason, and hence water do not enter into the seed during the germination and seed shows dormancy. And then germination inhibitors, these are some chemical compounds which are produced by embryo or endosperm cells inside the seed, and that may prevent or inhibits the growth of embryo during the germination. So these are causes of dormancy. Now what are the methods to break the dormancy? If suppose these causes are observed in the food crops, which may provide us food, and seeds are unable to germinate, then how human beings can get the food? So farmers practiced various methods to break the seed dormancy, so that seeds are able to germinate and provide us food. So let's see what are the methods for breaking the seed dormancy, right? Methods for breaking seed dormancy. Now this is not given in your state board book, but these dormancy and methods for breaking seed dormancy, those are mentioned in NCERT, right? त्यामुळे मी हे घेतली, right? Okay, so methods for breaking seed dormancy. First method, scarification. Scarification. So what is scarification? Scarification is the method to break the dormancy due to hard seed coat, right? It is the method to break the dormancy due to hard seed coat. Due to hard seed coat. It is method used to break the dormancy of seed due to hard seed coat. Okay. What is the process? It is the process of making the seed coat soft actually, right? What is scarification? It is a process of making the seed coat soft. Seed coat soft, right? So in this process, the hard seed coat is converted into soft nature, soft type, so that during the growth of seed embryo, the seed coat should be broken down or seed coat should break and a radical emerge outside the seed. Okay. So for making the seed coat soft, there are two processes generally practiced. One is mechanical scarification and another one is chemical scarification. Mechanical method and chemical method. Mechanical method means where sandpaper or knives can be used, right? Sandpaper, do you know sandpaper? The surface of sandpaper is very rough. So the seeds which have hard seed coat, those are rubbed on this sandpaper. So that helps to remove the outer hard part of that seed coat and hence the seed becomes soft now. When you germinate such a seed which is rubbed on the sandpaper and the seed coat now do not have any hard part in it, such seeds are able to germinate after this procedure. So sandpapers are used. This is mechanical method of scarification. And then if the seed size is larger one, which is seed मोठ्या size आहे, then manually we may remove the outer hard part of seed by using knives, चाकू किंवा तत्सम काहीतरी वापरून त्यावरचा hard part आपण seed coatचा काढून टाकला, seeds become soft and they are able to germinate. So in mechanical method we may use of sandpaper and knives. In case of chemical method, chemical scarification, nowadays dilute acids like hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid can be used. Prepare dilute solution of these acids and soak your hard seeds or seeds with hard seed coat into these acid solutions for some hours. So chemical reaction occurs of these acids on the seed coat and as a result of which the seed coat becomes soft, and then you will be able to sow these seeds in the soil and seeds are able to germinate. So this is chemical scarification, where chemicals like, for example, dilute HCl and dilute sulfuric acid acids are used to make seed coat soft. So when you soak the seeds into these dilute solutions of hydrochloric and sulfuric acid for some hours, after these specific time period, the seed coat becomes soft and seeds are able to germinate. So this is first method to break the seed dormancy. Now what are other methods? Next method, that is stratification. So next method which is used to break the seed dormancy, that is stratification. Stratification is the method which is used to break the dormancy which is due to immature seed embryo, right? So stratification break the dormancy due to immature embryo. Immature embryo. So here seeds are subjected alternately to high and low temperature. right? What is the method? Here, take seeds, soak them in some water and then put these seeds alternately at high and low temperature for some time. So this helps in the complete development of seed embryo, and then seeds are able to germinate, right? So what is the method? Subject the seeds at alternate high temperature. How much temperature is used? Up to 30 degree, up to 25 degree centigrade, and which is known as and low temperature, it is up to 10 degree centigrade, right? So alternate high and low temperature. आता टेम्परेचरचे जे रेंज दिले त्या वेगवेगळे येऊ शकतात एखाद्यास, but generally 0 to 10 degree centigrade temperature treatment is low temperature treatment, and 15 to 25 degree centigrade temperature is said to be high temperature treatment in this case, right? So subject the seed alternately at low and high temperature. That will help in complete growth of embryo inside the seed, and after complete growth of embryo, seeds are ready for germination. The method is known as stratification. Okay. Then third method, that is impaction. Impaction means what? Impaction means, कधी तुम्ही बघितलंय की रुरल एरियामध्ये एखाद्या पोत्यामध्ये किंवा पिशवीमध्ये सीड टाकतात आणि त्या पिशवीचं आणि पोत्याचं तोंड बांधून ते सीड जोरजोरात हार्ड सरफेसवरती असं आपटल्या जातं ते पोतं किंवा ती पिशवी, राईट? सो दॅट विल हेल्प टू रिमूव्ह द टेस्टापोर ब्लॉकेजेस, राईट? Okay, that will help to remove the testapore blockages. Here, seeds are hit against a very hard surface to remove the testapore blockage. The method is known as impaction, right? So it is the method to remove testapore blockage, and the method is known as impaction. Once the testapore blockage, that is whatever block in the microbiome is removed, water entered into the seed during the seed germination, seeds are able to germinate. Okay, so this is impaction. The next one, repeated washing of seed. Repeated washing of seeds, right? Repeated washing of seeds. This treatment is very useful. म्हणजे तुम्ही जर खेडेगावात राहत असाल किंवा कधी तुम्ही बघतात की ते धुवत असतात धान्य सारखं, गहू ज्वारी असं धुतात शेतकरी लिटरली, राईट? डाळी एस्पेशली ह्या धुतल्या जातात पाण्यामध्ये, 2, 3, 4 पाण्यामधून कंटिन्यू ते काढतात. सो वाय दिस इज सो? रिपीटेड वॉशिंग ऑफ सीड्स हेल्प्स टू रिमूव्ह germination inhibitors from seeds, and once the germination inhibitors are leached out, right, when they are removed, then seeds are able to germinate, right? So repeated washing of seeds help to remove germination inhibitors from seeds. Germination inhibitors from seeds. So this is one of the very common method used to remove the germination inhibitors from the seeds, and once these chemicals are removed from the seed, seeds are able to germinate, right? Then next method, that is use of growth regulators or plant hormones. Use of growth regulators or plant hormones, for example like auxin, gibberellin, ethylene, etc. Right? So especially growth regulators like auxin and gibberellin, ethylene, etc. are used for breaking the dormancy. That is, we can prepare, ethylene is a gaseous hormone, but auxin and gibberellin are the hormones which can be obtained in liquid form. So make dilute solution of these hormones and soak the seed into the solution for some time, then allow them to dry under what you call that, shade or under natural condition, and then when you sow the seeds are able to germinate, right? So these are methods for breaking the seed dormancy. Now these methods can be definitely practiced especially for agricultural crop seeds. Okay. What about wild plants? Even wild plants when develop seeds, they may have definitely dormancy in them. जंगलातल्या झाडांच्या सीडची डॉर्मन्सी ब्रेक करायला आपण जातो का? नाही. जे ॲग्रिकल्चरल क्रॉप प्लांट्स आहेत त्यांच्या सीडची डॉर्मन्सी आपण ब्रेक करतो बिकॉज दॅट प्रोव्हाइड अस फूड. ओके. So in case of the wild plant where the dormancy is due to hard seed coat, how that dormancy can be broken in these seeds? So there is one novel method observed, right? Many animals eat the fruits along with seeds which have hard seed coat, right? And then these seeds travel through the whole gut intestine of that animal. Now we know very well that in intestine different kinds of enzymes are secreted by the gut cells or intestine cells. The different pH is there. At some part of gut acidic pH is there, in some part of gut alkaline pH is there. So these seeds come in contact with different pH as well as different enzymes, and that makes the seed coat soft. And these seeds are released outside the animal's body along with its excreta, and then seeds are able to germinate. So this is natural method of breaking dormancy which is due to hard seed coat. Then if the seed dormancy in wild plant is due to germination inhibitor, then in many plant seeds in forest or in natural environment it is observed that many seeds can germinate after heavy rain. म्हणजे खूप मोठा पाऊस होऊन गेला की बऱ्याच झाडांचे सीड्स जर्मिनेट व्हायला लागतात. So that heavy rain causes the complete removal of germination inhibitors from the seeds, and then seeds are able to germinate. So these are methods for breaking the seed dormancy. Okay. So rest we'll discuss in next lecture. Till then, bye bye. Have a good day and be safe at home. Okay. Bye bye. रवी, ए रवी, झालंय माझं. झालं माझं.